Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhaschatyaresha Tarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jai Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So what we're discussing, Amit, how are you?
I'm well, Prabhu. Thank you.
Are you warm at home? Heating
Prabhu,
work? Yes? Can you hear me?
become warm.
Yes, you're warm.
Yes, slightly.
Okay. I
Yes.
had the heating off all day long, and then I put it on, and now it's too warm. Okay. Off for the night. Off for the night. Okay. What we discussing tonight? Bhagavad Gita. Which verse? Anyone? Volunteers. Volunteers. Let's look at Bhagavad Gita. Amrita Radhamandaji, any suggestion? Amit, any suggestion?
10:26.
10:26. 10. You like this 10 chapter, do you? 10:26. Let's share the screen. 10:26. Okay. Very short purport, but it doesn't matter. It's okay. What make you choose 10:26, Amit?
Now, Prabhu, I was going to pick one from the chapter 10. And I saw this one. I found it interesting.
Okay. Let's hear about the opulences of the Absolute. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Amit, go ahead with the Sanskrit. It's an easy one.
Asvata sarve viksanam
Why you say sarve?
sarva.
Sarva. Ishankri Madachi. Hare Krishna, what a surprise. Oh, I'm so pleased.
Hare Krishna, Prabhus. Hare Krishna.
Are you well?
My obeisances.
Obeisances to you from all sides, from left and right and front and behind. Are you in Poland at the moment? Are you well? I can't hear you, but maybe I shouldn't ask so
I think
many
it's probably
questions.
an internet connection, Prabhu, probably more likely the connection has gone down with her.
Well, I think maybe I asked two invading questions. Okay, it doesn't matter. Yes, internet connection is okay. So we have Amit, Amrita Radhe, Ishankri Madachi, and Prakash still here. Okay. Okay, Sarve, no. Sarva. Read it again, Amit.
Asvata sarve
Why you
vikshanam
not Sarve? Sarva.
sarva.
Okay.
Devvasinam cha narapta
Yeah.
Ganharvanam Chitrata Siddhanam Kapila
Chitra
Muni.
Ratha.
Chitra Raja
Ratha.
Kapila
Yeah.
Muni. Kapila Muni.
Kapilo Muni. Yes. And the translation.
Okay, of all trees, I am the banyan tree, and of the sages amongst the demigods, I am not Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitrata, and among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila.
Okay, so this is one of the string of verses where Krishna is just describing his opulences. Of course, we should note.
But
Yes, Amit.
back in a minute, yeah. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay. So here Krishna is describing his opulences. Amongst this I'm this, amongst the mountains I'm the Himalayas, and so on. Just to give us an idea of the opulence of the Absolute. And the chapter is called The Opulence of the Absolute. But Krishna's opulences are so vast. And in fact, he says later on, but what is the point, Arjuna, of describing all these opulences? With just a fraction of myself, I support the whole universe and everything. So Krishna's opulences are, we cannot describe them even to a fraction. They are so massive, they are so vast. So he just gives a tiny small idea of his opulences. So let's look at the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Ishankri Mataji, you want to read that purport?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, actually Mataji has written in the chat that her internet is not stable, so sometimes
Yes,
she can't hear.
I think so. So, Amrita Radhi Mataji, you read the purport.
Alright, Jai Shri Prabhupada. The
Jai.
banyan tree, Ashwath, is one of the highest and the most beautiful trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Among the demigods, they also worship Narad, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus, he is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and among them, the best singer is Chitraratha. Amongst the perfect living entities, Kapila, the son of Devahuti, is representative of Krishna. He is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Later on, another Kapila became famous, but his philosophy was atheistic. Thus, there is gulf of difference between them.
Okay, thank you very much, Amrita Radhi Mataji. So, Krishna is the essence of everything. Like here's a banyan tree is mentioned because it's the highest and most beautiful tree. Amit, are you here? Maybe not. So, of course, Amrita Radhi Mataji, you know banyan tree. And anybody who has been in India, we know banyan trees. An example in Bhagavad Gita is given of a tree with its roots upwards pointing and his branches downwards. And said banyan tree, of course, is a reflection of the real tree. Said perverted tree is a reflection in the water. That is a tree with the roots upwards and the branches down. That is the reflection tree. So this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world, a perverted reflection. Everything is there, and Srila Prabhupada, very often he makes a point that everything we find in this material world has its proper origin in the spiritual sky. But again, it is pervertedly reflected in this material world. Everything. Everything. We recently spoke of, there is fighting in this world. Krishna has also, sometimes he wants to fight. When he was fighting with Hiranyakashipu, he enjoys a good fight. So there cannot be fighting in this material world which, if there is not that spirit, that fighting spirit is not within Krishna. Of course, here it is perverted. So many wars are going on. Perverted. For no reason. So, that banyan tree, there's a beautiful picture in the older Bhagavad Gītās. You may have seen that picture with the banyan trees and the different leaves as the different Vedic branches and Vedas and all kind of instruction, Vedic instruction and so on. So that is also entanglement. A banyan tree looks already so, one cannot make out which has a root and which has a branches. It's just all tangled all over. Of course, one could ask the question, why the banyan tree is worshipped in India? Because banyan tree is mentioned here in Bhagavad Gita. And banyan tree is the highest and most beautiful of trees. So the best of the best is representing Krishna. Or Krishna says, I'm the taste of water. So the taste of water is absolutely essential. Water is everywhere, in everything, in every drink, and in our bodies are 70% of water. So water is absolutely the essence. So Krishna is that essence. And amongst the trees, Krishna is that banyan tree, the essence, the most beautiful. Then another example, Narada Muni, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. And he's traveling all over the universe and helping his devotees and carrying messages. And he has a spiritual body. He not always, we know the story of how Narada became attracted by the sages, by eating their prasadam and hearing their discourses and so on, and how he heard the voice, I will not anymore come to you, broke his meditation in this lifetime, so you will hanker for me. Krishna does that sometimes. He gives us a glimpse of himself, of his opulences, of his beautiful smile, or in whichever form, and then he withdraws it again. And then we're becoming mad of wanting him, achieving him, again. It's like in this material world. If someone gives us a taste of the most tasty preparation we could have ever imagined, and then no more. Oh, we're searching after that taste. We go into great length. People sometimes find a particular dish in a restaurant, and then the dish is not anymore available, and they're going mad. They're looking at every restaurant. I want this particular dish made in this particular way. So becoming attached to something very tasty, to something very beautiful, to something sounding very nice, and so on. So Krishna does that. He appears in whatever form to give us a taste. There's this beautiful story of, you may know that story, of two Matajis from Kazakhstan. It seems like Kazakhstan has some amazing stories. There's a lot of interesting things happening. So two Matajis from Kazakhstan, they had to travel on the plane to Almaty. I believe that's the capital of Kazakhstan. So the devotees from the temple, they said, we'll prepare you some prasadam. We'll pack you something. Just wait a moment. Don't leave without. And the two Matajis said, why you? It's just a 2-hour flight. We don't need prasadam. We are not hungry. We just ate prasadam here at the temple. So, but these Matajis from the kitchen, they insisted, no, you must take. You never know. You might become hungry, or if not, give it to the devotees in Almaty. So they have been persuaded. They took a big bag with all sorts of prasadam. They took it on the plane. And then they had two different seats, a row apart. That was a seat number. So while that one Mataji, she settled in her seat, there was a gentleman on the window seat, and she had the seat on the aisle. And the gentleman looked at them, and he looked very grumpy. And then there was this empty seat in between. And the Mataji told her friend in the row behind, why don't you sit next to me? There is an empty seat. So she came, sit next to him. And then one of the Mataji said, let's see what they packed us on prasadam. And the gentleman next to them, they looked even more grumpy. And they packed it out, the prasadam, and oh, look, there is some pakoras, oh, samosas they packed us, and ladus, and this and that. And then the stewardess came, and she announced some lunch, and they could overhear that grumpy gentleman saying, vegetarian, whispering, I want vegetarian, whispering. So the lady, the Mataji, she heard that, and she said, oh, you vegetarian, we have some nice vegetarian food here, why don't you take some? And the gentleman said, no, I don't want. And then that was quite a very strong, abrupt response. Then they pulled out something else. Oh, here is some nice vegetarian sweet. I don't want. And here's some samosas. I don't want. So they asked him, what's the matter with you? And then he told them, the moment I saw you, and these two Matachis were dressed in sari and tilak, and the moment I saw you entering that plane, I knew you will have a seat next to me. And the moment there was these empty seats between you and me, I knew you're going to invite your friend to sit there. And then I knew you're going to offer me some prasadam. And they were astonished. He said, prasadam? And he said, I want to forget Krishna. And they were even more astonished. Who are you? What? He said, I want to forget Krishna, but Krishna always arranges to remind me of him. And Krishna always arranges some prasadam wherever I am. But I want to forget Krishna. Krishna is such a friend. Said he never gives up on you. And his mother, she's where, oh, explain what? And then he explained. I have been, many, many years back, I have been living in a temple. But because I committed some offenses to devotees, I left. I had to leave. I couldn't stay any longer. And now I'm coming just from the funeral of my father. And there was only meat. In Kazakhstan, people with funeral, it's only meat. There was nothing else. So I didn't have anything to eat for 2 days. And now Krishna has arranged you coming here with prasadam, and I knew that going to happen because it always happened. And the Matachis were by that time tears streaming down their face, and they said, "You are boosting our faith in Krishna, and this is an extraordinary story." And of course, the gentleman was dressed in a suit and tie and so on. And then he accepted prasadam. Eventually he said, I'm so starving. I haven't eaten for 2 days. Thank you very much. And then later on, we said, can I take some prasadam with me as well for later on? And they packed him, they gave him all the prasadam. So this is an example. Once we have tasted prasadam, we'll never forget it. We can never forget it. Impossible. We'll never forget the taste of prasadam. Even we may not being in contact, we may not practice Krishna consciousness, or someone may not. He will still remember the taste of prasadam because that is spiritual foodstuff. It is not ordinary. And we know many stories of devotees, prasadam devotees, who came to Krishna consciousness, they got attached by prasadam, by the tongue. That was their first contact with Krishna consciousness, said halava on Ratha Yatra. And that brought them closer to Krishna consciousness. So in the same way here, that once Krishna appears in whatever form, perhaps in the form of prasadam, or perhaps we're getting a darshan, or as Srila Prabhupada explained when he came back from a morning walk, and our late Mula Prakriti Mataji was cleaning his bathroom, which was her duty regularly, every day. And she did when Srila Prabhupada went on a morning walk with a group of devotees. So, but she didn't realize it had started raining when Srila Prabhupada came back early. So she heard him coming up the stairs, and she was all, what to do now? There was no more time to go down like other devotees, say, moved out of the way. But she was stuck in a little corner in the corridor. And Srila Prabhupada came with an Indian gentleman. And they were speaking. The Indian gentleman was saying that was a beautiful, beautiful morning walk. Nature was so nice and peaceful. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna's nature. And the sunshine, nice and warm sunshine. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna's sunshine. Then Srila Prabhupada explains, Krishna, his all-pervading Brahman effulgence is everywhere. Everything is glowing from this Brahman effulgence. Everything. And then he asked that Indian gentleman, can you see? And that Indian gentleman said, no, I cannot see. And then he turned to Mula Prakriti in the corner and said, can you see? And she said, no, Srila Prabhupada, I cannot see. And then Srila Prabhupada said to her, I want you to see. So, that spiritual effulgence, maybe Krishna reveals that spiritual Brahmajyoti effulgence to us. Or maybe he appears personally, he gives us a darshan. Or maybe he appears like to Narada Muni, he heard the voice of the Lord, in whichever form. And then he disappears again, to make us so eager to achieve him. And there's a beautiful story also with Srila Prabhupada and his first disciple in India, forgot his name, Acharya Prabha, something like that. And he came home, and it was a temple with some quarters upstairs to sleep and the temple room downstairs. And when he came home, he heard Srila Prabhupada in the temple room, chanting with a midangam, dancing around the temple room, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Right? He thought not much more than that, and he went to sleep. And he couldn't sleep. And he woke up at night, and Srila Prabhupada was still chanting with a choked voice. He was chanting and dancing around the temple room all night long. So the next morning he asked, what happened, sir? And then Srila Prabhupada revealed to him, when he came down and saw Srila Prabhupada, there was a smell, not only down in the whole temple room, there was a sweet fragrance of kadamba flowers. Very sweet fragrance. And it was not even kadamba season. And when he asked Srila Prabhupada, he saw Srila Prabhupada with a huge garland up to his knees of very big kadamba flowers. He had never seen such big kadamba flowers. And they smelled so fragrantly. So he asked Srila Prabhupada, where did you get that garland from? It's not even kadamba season. And why did you chant all night long? And why are you crying? Srila Prabhupada explains, I did my bhajan, I chanted and chanted. And then suddenly Krishna appeared in front of me. Krishna. Therefore Srila Prabhupada often says, one day you will see Krishna face to face. So, Srila Prabhupada saw Krishna face to face. And he bowed down to touch his feet, and Krishna disappeared. So same kind of story. So that darshan of Krishna may come in so many ways. A personal darshan in front of our eyes, or we're seeing Krishna as effulgence, or we're hearing Krishna's voice. So this is meant to get us attached, more and more attached to him. So that was Narada. Thus, Narada is the representation of a devotee. Then Gandharva planet is filled with beautiful singing entities. The Gandharvas can fly in the sky and they can very beautifully sing. And sometimes when a devotee chants very beautiful, we sometimes say, you just singing like a Gandharva, you have a voice like a Gandharva. And the best singer amongst the Gandharvas was Chitraratha. So the best of the best, that is, I am that. I am the best of the best. To give you some idea of my opulences, Krishna is saying. About amongst the perfect living entities, Kapila, who is an incarnation of the Lord, the son of Devahuti, is a representative of Krishna. Of course, there is an atheistic Kapila with an atheistic philosophy that shouldn't be mixed up. Therefore, whenever we speak, and Srila Prabhupada insisted, when the teachings of Kapila, he insisted they were written the son of Devahuti, just to identify the correct Kapila. Okay, any questions so far? Anyone? Any question?
No, Prabhu, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay. One moment. Today, I sent out a text. You may have read it or not. Srila Prabhupada says, if we chant mechanically, then the effect is different. Mechanical chanting. And over the recent weeks, we have spoken about prayer. Also, vandanam. So the same. The prayer shouldn't be mechanical either. And it was mentioned, Srila Prabhupada mentioned the prayer. We may not have the choicest words. We don't know any nice poetry or anything. Like Prahlad, a very simple 5-year-old boy. So what's important in the prayer is our sincere feelings within the heart. So it's the same with chanting, not mechanical, but with feelings from the heart. So Srila Prabhupada said, I have already given you 10 kinds of offenses. There are in chanting Hare Krishna. So mechanical way of chanting is also another offense. So we have to be careful not to mechanically chant or mechanically pray, but with sincere feelings as much as we are able to. Let's go a little ahead and just the verses. Amit, are you there? You want to read the translation? Amit, are you there?
Yeah. So my net went down.
You breaking up and your microphone show. Oh yeah, okay now. Okay, please read us the translation.
Okay. Of horses, lonely, the Ucha Rava.
Uchai yes.
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, I can hear you. Come close, yes.
Ucha Shrava.
Yep.
Produced during the journey. O lordly elephants, I am Arivata. And among men, I am the monarch.
Okay, that list just goes on.
Which verse is this, guys?
That is
Yeah, Prabhu, which verse
1027.
is this? Still chapter 10? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
27. It's just the next verse. So
An
here
interesting one.
again, it's all the same. Again, the best of the best, that is Krishna. So amongst horses, the best horse is Uchai, which was produced during the churning of the ocean of milk, ocean for nectar, the demigods and the demons. Long story. They churned the ocean with Kurma, the turtle, and as a pirate, and Vasuki as a rope. And then that ocean produced so many things. And so that is the best of horses. And amongst the elephants, I'm Airavata. Indra's elephant, I believe so, yes. And amongst men, I'm the monarch, the king, the saintly king, like Parikshit Maharaj. So let's read that purport as well to get a little bit more detail. Shankri Mataji, you are able to read a bit? Amrita Radhimataji, you want to read?
Okay, Prabhu. Sorry, could you please tell me which place?
The devotee.
Okay. The devotee, demigods, and the demons once took part in churning the sea. From this churning, nectar and poison were produced, and Lord Shiva drank the poison. From the nectar were produced many entities, of which there was a horse named Uchishrava. Another animal produced from the nectar was an elephant called named Airavata. Because these two animals were produced from nectar, they have special significance and they are representatives of Krishna. Amongst the human beings, the king is the representative of Krishna because Krishna is the maintainer of the universe, and the kings who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications are maintained of their kingdoms. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, and Lord Ram were all highly righteous kings who always thought of the citizens' welfare. In Vedic literature, the king is considered to always thought of the citizens' welfare. In Vedic literature, the king is considered to be the representative of God. In this age, however, with the corruption of principles of religion, monarchy decayed and is now finally abolished. It is to be understood that in the past, however, people were more happy under righteous kings.
Hare Krishna. Well, the point here really is, as already explained, that Krishna is the best, the cream of the cream in everything. And as we go on, of weapons I'm the thunderbolt, amongst cows I'm the surabi, of causes for procreation I'm Kandharpa, the god of love, and of serpents I am Vasuki. Of the many hooded nagas I'm Ananta, and amongst the aquatics I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors I'm Aryama, and amongst the dispensers of law I'm Yama, the lord of death. Amongst the Daitya demons I'm the devoted Prahlad, because Prahlad was born in the Daityas, demonic lineage. Amongst subduers I am time. Time is subduing everything and everyone. And Krishna says in another verse, time I am the destroyer of the worlds. So nobody can escape time. Time is the essence of this material world. Amongst beasts I am the lion, and amongst birds I am Garuda. So again, the cream of the cream. Of purifiers I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapons I am Ram. Of fishes I am the shark. And of flowing rivers I am the Ganges. Of all creations I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences I am the spiritual science of the self, and amongst logicians I am the conclusive truth. Oh, Krishna is everything. In the creation there is a beginning, the end, and the middle. There's nothing left. It's all Krishna. And he is the spiritual science of the self. Amongst logicians is a conclusive truth. The essence. Of letters I'm the letter A. And among compound words I'm the dual compound. I'm also inexhaustible time. Of the creators I am Brahma. I'm all devouring death. And I'm the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Amongst women I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. These are all very female good qualities. Of the hymns I'm the Samaveda. I'm the Brihat Sama. And the poetry I'm Gayatri. Of months I'm Margashirsha, November, December. And of seasons I'm the flower bearing spring. I'm also the gambling of the cheats. And of the splendid I'm the splendor. I'm victory, I'm adventure, I'm the strength of the strong. So the essence of everything, Krishna. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas I'm Arjuna. Of the sages I'm Vyasa, and amongst great thinkers I'm Ushana. Amongst all means of suppressing lawlessness, I'm punishment. And of those who seek victory, I'm morality. Of secret things, I'm silence. And of the wise, I'm the wisdom. How beautiful verses are opulences. Furthermore, Arjuna, I'm the generating seed of all existence. Nothing moving or non-moving can exist without me. Almighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. So, yes, after that whole list, Krishna explains, there is no end to his divine manifestations. As reminds us also of when he showed his universal form, his Virat Rupa to Arjuna. There was no end. Everything was ever has been seen in the past, what is being seen at present, and what will be seen in the future was all assembled in Krishna at one point. So all these opulences which he described, they are just an indication of Krishna's infinite opulences. Know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So this is a very helpful verse for us. If we find anything beautiful, glorious in this material creation, immediately we should think this is just a spark of Krishna's splendor. There are so many beautiful things in this world. Nature, for instance, any beauty in nature is just a spark of Krishna's splendor. If we think like that, or we drink water, we think that taste of the water, that's Krishna. We walk in nature to relax, that springs, that flowers coming out already now, they're coming out, what's it called? Snow bells. They're coming out. The crocus is coming out soon and the daffodils will come after. This is all just, we like to see that, and spring is coming. And this is just a spark of Krishna's splendor. Now that is that important verse. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So let's read that purport. With a single, what's the need of, Arjuna wanted to hear about the opulences, but Krishna says, what's the point? There is no end to it. Okay, Amit, can you read us this purport by Srila Prabhupada?
The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire universes by his entering into all things of the Super Soul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. You should know that all things are existing due to Krishna entering them as Super Soul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant. All existed because the Lord has entered each, and Lord is sustained. There is a mission that regularly propounds that worships lead one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Goal. But here in this 10th chapter, that idea is thoroughly discouraged. To completely eradicate this wrong idea, in this chapter, Lord Krishna informs us that even the greatest demigods, like Brahma and Shiva, represent only part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born, and no one is greater than him. He is as more of which means that no one is superior to him, and no one is equal to him. In the Padma Purana, it's said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with the demigods, be it even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the super soul, who entered into everything that is. Pure devotees therefore concentrate their mind in Krishna consciousness, full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. That is the word pure devotional service, how one can attain the highest of this person Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter.
You're breaking up a little bit. Come close.
Yeah. I think it's my internet connection.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Like, now is a little bit better, yes.
Okay, a great Acharya in the disciplic succession of Krishna concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, Yakshakti lasat suryat diya bhavanti atya ugra tejasa yad amsanna pradyam
Tritam visham
van yad amsena tritam vishvam sa Krishna dasama chirasat
Aryate, yes.
Aryate. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power, and by Krishna's personal expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna is worshipable.
Yes. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Purport, the 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the opulence of the Absolute. So, that is the end of this 10th chapter. But an important point here is to note there are many devotees who are attracted by the opulences of the Lord. This 10th chapter is their favorite chapter. But this is not the most important chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. These are not the most important verses. These are because, as Krishna explains himself, these opulences are unlimited. Generally, those who are attracted by the opulences, they have some desire in their heart for opulences themselves. But other chapters which highlight Amrita Radhe has to go. Okay. Other chapters which highlight the devotional aspect of Bhagavad Gītā. These are more important. So, then the chapter 10, the opulences. More as Krishna says himself, what is the need, Arjuna, of knowing all those details? We could go on for eternity, glorifying all the opulences of the Lord. There is no end to it. No end to it. It can help us, perhaps. It can help us understand the opulences, the unlimited opulences of Krishna. That helps us to surrender to Krishna. Yes, Krishna, you are the master of all opulences. Let me surrender unto your lotus feet and serve you in devotional service, to try to please you with the sincerity of my heart, with sincere prayers, with sincere feelings while we pray, with sincere feelings while we chant Hare Krishna mantra. Sincere feelings. So, any questions, Amit?
Yeah, no, Prabhu, I think one of the verses you went through, it said, Krishna said, I am the shark.
I am what?
The fish and the shark.
Shark, yes. Why is a shark? Because a shark is a king of the ocean.
Yeah. So would that imply there is spirituality in animals as well?
Says what?
Spirituality in a
Spirituality in animals. What would you say? Is there spirituality in animals? What's your answer?
there are signs of spirituality. There's evidence that elephants mourn the lost ones, and animals do show sadness when they lose.
What has sadness to do with spirituality?
Emotion.
Emotion. But emotion can be very material.
No, I think, but what I'm saying is that there's a connection, between the different consciousness, that we elevate. The human consciousness is the highest. But yeah, it's just sometimes, he's saying before that there is no connection between animal consciousness and human consciousness. But
Consciousness is consciousness. And the answer is a spirituality in animals. Well, Krishna is in the heart of the animal as much as in the heart of the human being. Krishna is there.
yeah,
As
and
is Paramatma, as super soul.
yeah, and that's why I like the cosmic vision. The cosmic soul. It's in everything. Yeah, it's in every entity. It's in the plants. It's in the animals. It's in the universe. It's in the human beings. I see Krishna's energy in everything.
Yes, if we see Krishna in everything, that is a very advanced vision. We realize Krishna in everything. So what is a consequential logic if we see Krishna in everything? That must reflect in our action. We see Krishna, we're kind to everyone, because we know everyone is Krishna's presence is there. So the question could be asked, what's the difference between animal consciousness and human consciousness? The consciousness is the same, but the consciousness in animals and also in different species of animals is different, is covered. Like you have a candle. If the candle is on the table, it will give us light. It will reflect on the walls, on the ceiling, everywhere. The whole room is lit up by a candle, right? But if you put that same candle in a pot, the light will not be distributed all over the room. The light will be only reflected on the opening on top, on the ceiling. There will be a round reflection of the light of the candle. So you could say the consciousness in an animal body is like the candle in the pot. The consciousness is covered by the pot, because due to different modes of nature, we know the modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. These modes are covering the consciousness, also to different degrees in human beings. The consciousness is fully manifested for someone who is fully Krishna conscious, God conscious, self-realized, whatever we call it, same thing, who has love for God. Then is mostly exhibited that consciousness. The consciousness of a person who is not a devotee, a person who is under the influence of the mode of passion and ignorance, then that consciousness is covered. It's the same consciousness, the same candle, but it's covered. Covered. And in different animal species, there's different coverings, different amount of coverings. The biggest covering is a mode of ignorance. Trees, for instance, are so much covered. The consciousness is covered to a great degree, covered by the mode of ignorance. So they cannot even walk. They cannot even talk. They cannot move. They're standing in one spot for hundreds of years. So much covered. That same consciousness, the same candle, is in a pot, very much covered. It shines a little bit. Maybe that pot has only a very small opening, so a little bit of light comes out. Or you have your flashlight under your blanket. It's all dark in the room. You are under the blanket with your flashlight. And hardly any light, a little bit light comes out at the side or something. So that's the difference of consciousness in the animals and in the human being and in the civilized human being and in those who are self-realized and God conscious. Amongst the animals, the most uncovered and is a mode of goodness. Mode of goodness is the least covered. It's almost like the human consciousness, not that far away. It's a cow. The cow is in the mode of goodness. Cows are normally not passionate and not in the mode of ignorance. It's goodness. Therefore, when we are troubled in our mind, in our emotions, we spend some time with the cows. That will calm us down, 100%. Spend some time with the cows. So people who are troubled in mind, okay, go to the cows, spend an hour, spend half an hour with the cows. And they're coming back and they're very peaceful. Because that mode of goodness of the cow is reflecting on them also. Therefore, it's no wonder that the cow in the mode of goodness is the stepping stone to a human body. Right? In the mode of goodness, after the cow is a natural evolution. The soul takes on a human body. There are the gateways to the human body. Darwin, with his evolutionary theory, he discovered one gateway, the monkey.
Okay, I found this on the web for who discovered.
But the monkey is a gateway through the mode of ignorance. And the lion or tiger are a gateway to the human form of life in the mode of passion. So we can see even amongst animals, there are different levels of covering, amongst plants as well. Some plants, some trees, they give nice and juicy and sweet fruit. Their consciousness is less covered. Then there are other trees, they give very small, sour fruit. So there is differences of the coverings of consciousness. But consciousness is there. The same consciousness is there, just covered. And that consciousness covered by different degrees will reflect in different bodies of the living entity. That's important. All of that is important to know. Because if we cultivate the mode of ignorance through our life, we are completely covered by the mode of ignorance, then our next birth will be in the animal species. Shastra says. If we cultivate the mode of passion, we come back as a human being. If we cultivate the mode of goodness, we're going to the higher planets. So, whatever mode we are covered with, that's important, because that will be our next destination. On the other hand, if we surrender fully to Krishna and we cultivate Krishna consciousness, we'll go back to Krishna. Does that make sense to you, Amit? So your question of, is there consciousness? Yes, consciousness is there. But to various degrees it is exhibited, like the candle on the table or in a pot. Anything else? Any other question? We can have 5-10 minutes more time if we like to.
No questions to me, Prabhu.
So, anybody asking you about animals and consciousness, then that's the answer. The consciousness is there. The same quality of consciousness. The quality of consciousness is the same. Like the quality of light. Think of this, if anybody is discussing with someone. Light is the same. Light is light. But the light can be more covered, as in the example of the light in the pot. Or the light can be reflected through a prism, and then the light appears blue, purple, yellow, red. But the same light. It just manifests differently. So the same consciousness manifests different bodies. We manifesting a body. We got this body now. And through our evolution and cultivation of consciousness, we can choose. Our destiny will be according to the quality of our consciousness. That will be our next destiny. It's not completely out of our hand. What in our next lifetime? I become a dog, I become a cat, I become a human being, get the body of a demigod. I means I is a consciousness, that's me. I am this consciousness, the soul. I'm a spark of Krishna, a part and parcel. But I getting covered, like the candle with a pot, I get covered by a body of a monkey, of a dog, a cat, depending on my cultivation of consciousness. Therefore, it is so important. How are we cultivating our consciousness? We cultivating our bodies. We are very eager to cultivate our bodies. We're looking in the mirror and making sure the hair is nice, if we still have any left. And if there's any pimples, we're trying to cover over, right? So we care about our body. Of course, we have to keep the body fit for Krishna, for serving Krishna. That's a different story. But we don't care about our consciousness. People are all caring about their body. It is not even their body. The body doesn't belong to them. There's a nice write-up which I just read the other day. Very interesting. Let's see if I find it. No. Next time I'll find it. Okay, thank you very much, Amit. See you on Saturday. Hare
Okay, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.